Yes. Still a little delay. It says that everything is good. Oh, fantastic. Okay. I am here fixing my tie. So, we are talking original characters again today. That's kind of what we've been doing a lot of recently. Hopefully, next time we do this, I will have finished reorganizing my office so you'll have a slightly more interesting background, more kaiju-related stuff. Set up my audio so I don't have that double, because nobody likes that. Let's see. There. I'd like someone to confirm that they can still hear me. If you can hear me, somebody type in the chat the word broccoli. Yes. All right. So presumably everything will now be copacetic. Looking for just confirmation that you can still hear me, because I turned off the audio on my end, but presumably you can still hear it there. The delay makes it hard. Sorry. Anybody? Anybody? Conversely, if I've gone silent, I guess if they can't hear me, they don't know what to say. Do you compliment? Okay, fantastic. I picked a word that's too hard for people to spell. Okay. Hilarious problems. Okay. So, I'm going to set this up so I can see all the chats. Good. So yes, so we're doing another discussion of original characters. So we saw RCS, our first reveal. Fingers crossed, we're going to have another reveal on Monday. I'm flying back east again, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but I'm trying to get it all set up so that the upload will still go on Monday. Hopefully that will be working. Yes, we will have the card. If things really fall apart, I'll get it up Tuesday evening when I'm back, but I believe that I should be able to get the upload up Monday, even though I'll be in a different state. Does anyone have any kaiju they would like to discuss? Somebody throw me a link, and we will talk about the kaiju that you want me to talk about. Yes. As always, people who throw up links, we give priority to people who have the Kaiju Benefactor status. If you want to buy Kaiju Benefactor for yourself, just click on, go in the forums, click on your name, and there's a little account upgrade option. Click on that. You can see all the various things you can buy. It's very helpful to me when people buy those things. It keeps the site open, keeps us running these streams, keeps us making the cards, and all those things. Yeah. But Kaiju Benefactor, you get slightly more votes than regular for choosing which characters are going to go into each set. And you get first pick for these. Alright. Draco. Bercudo, the Fog of the Bermuda Triangle. Okay. Alright. I have not looked at this one before, so that's always exciting. So we have a little kind of bony serpent skeleton with arms. And then it has fog or dense fog on it, and it looks like something sticking out of its belly that has armor. It's a resident of the Bermuda Triangle. Okay. So he's a skeleton who attracts fog around him, like Pigpen from Peanuts. Okay, he also attracts the wrecked metal. You know, I saw this great article that's saying there's actually fewer lost ships than normal within the Bermuda Triangle. So that's fun. We do know. Okay. Those that enter never return or choose not to speak of it. What we do not know is what the fog has become. I don't like that sentence because you're now going to tell us what the fog has become, so don't tell us that we don't know something. I mean, if we don't know it, just don't tell us. And if we know it, you tell us, but don't tell us that we don't know something. That's obnoxious, right? Uh, yes. So here's one of the things. So he's a monster who lurks within the Bermuda Triangle. Okay? He brings fog to himself. Why? Why? Why the fog? I mean, so I think I understand, you know, you want to explain ship disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle to a monster that lives there. Awesome. Great idea. You want it to look like fog so that people don't necessarily realize it's a monster doing it. Cool. Um, but the immediate question then is, why does it look like fog? Why is it already there? Is it just there to make ships crash? Because you say it's been there long before there were humans, so there weren't any ships. So what was it there for? Why was it there? Why that location? Why does it even care about that triangle? I mean, that's like just a section of ocean. It's no different from others as in terms of the ocean quality. Um, I want you to give me a reason that something's there. Maybe like in the center of that area, there's a place that it has to stay, or why is it attracted to fog? Does it feed off the fog? Is it a feel affinity with the fog? Does fog look like its mom? Um, yeah, you have this long. So you have this story. So you have a good setup, but then your story is he was there and nobody knows why, and then he left and nobody knows why, and nobody knows what he's doing, and we don't know. That's not a story. That's a series of questions that you don't answer. Um, that's yeah. That's it's yeah. There's no story. Give me a story. You got a great concept for a character. You got a great setup. Now make him do something. Um, okay, energy. Representation of how much fog. So is his the fog is his energy. So that's good. Um, okay, and when he has a lot, he has armor. Um, Another tip is that the way that this is written, it's written from an external perspective. So it's written in sort of this omnipotent perspective where like you know things about it that the creature doesn't know about itself, and you're talking about it in terms of sort of game mechanics. And if that's true, you should just be able to tell us. If you want to be mysterious and say we're not sure, then you're writing it from within the context of the story with a character within the story, who then wouldn't talk about it as though it were a video game, right? You wouldn't say regain energy and form armor. Like that's not how. Like if you were an actual researcher discussing this monster that's coming to kill people, you wouldn't say, "Ooh, he's regaining energy." You use different language. Uh, the gun from a jet. Okay, that's cute, but it's okay. So if he has a fighter jet stuck in him and he can fire if he can fire the fighter jet's gun as an attack, that's a little goofy. If it's a goofy monster, that's fine. Uh, but you have that tied to his armor. And so if he doesn't have enough fog, then he doesn't have the armor and he can't use this thing. But if this jet is stuck in him, the jet would always be stuck in him. It doesn't make sense for the jet to appear when he's collecting more fog. That's silly. Um, yes, that it's silly to have something like that tied to how much fog he has on him. Um, yes. Okay. Yeah. It's weird for you to talk about the skeleton, the fog, and the armor form as different forms because, as far as I can tell, they're all identical. I mean, you say like, he's faster this way, he has better armor this way. Yeah, but what he does, the way he moves, his options do not change at all, right? So he's going to be faster or resist damage more with one or the other, but that doesn't make him different. It's not a form, right? It's exactly the same. He's doing exactly the same things. Nothing is different. So it's just you're changing the parameters of his form. You're changing some of the numbers associated with how he's going to do things, but you're not really changing his form at all. Yes. So uh, I like Bermuda Triangle Monster. I like the fog. The skeleton is a little weird. Skeletons don't normally appear, so he's probably mystically animated or something. The jet appearing when he gains armor is silly. Change that. Uh, yeah, and it's not different forms. Anyway, a solid setup. You just have to find something that's interesting with it. It's gonna do something. There we go. Uh, all right. Next, Sweet Tooth. Hydra Kendra. Hydra, yeah, Hydra Kendra, the Destroyer of Fleets. All right, it's got some Woodzilla art. Close range. So it's a multi-headed, like a Hydra. Perfect. And it has a big mouth on its chest. Okay. It's a monster that all religions feared. There were speculations of what it might have been, so they said it was a giant squid. Part Hydra, part Kraken, part Apopus. Okay. Is a creature as old as the cosmos itself and born of three different distinct cultural mythologies. That's confusing. The cosmos begins before Earth begins, right? As old as the cosmos is way older than Earth and way older than humans. So if it's, millions, billions of years older than humans, it can't be born from three human cultures that were a few thousand years ago, right? You're kind of messing up your time scales. So I would probably just say as old as the cosmos itself. That's just silly. You're just bragging. Just say born from three distinct mythologies. That's great. Yes, blah blah blah. Before, yep. Okay. So yeah, so you're doing this sort of a cross-cultural explains lots of these legends. That's cool. Yes, fights the gods. Okay. All right. Um, it's not clear who's in control of the monster or what the monster wants. Is the monster like an attack dog that can be unleashed on things? Is the monster fighting for? Right. I mean, if it's always fighting, why did we not always know about it? Seems like a giant monster that's always fighting would constantly be in the news. Was it gone? Did it come back? Was it satisfied with something, but now it's stirred again? Um, I like it. So it's Greek, Norse, Egyptian. It explains all these things, and it did a bunch of things and it interacted with those cultures back in the day, and now it's back again, right? I think that's the piece that we're missing here is the why is it back again? I want it to have been gone for some reason or not active for whatever reason, and now it's back. That's the main thing. Um, it's also, I mean, although the art here is green, how is this different from King Ghidorah? I mean, it's almost not different at all, right? So you might think about that. You've got two tails, two legs. You have five heads instead of three, but yeah, any more than one head, again, it's kind of superfluous. How is this not King Ghidorah? Wouldn't King Ghidorah be a better explanation for all those myths? Okay. Anyway, moving on. Uh, Amvis, invertible defender. Invertible. Okay. All right. It's kind of a mecha starfish. Okay, interesting. Huh. Okay. Many mecha were sent. This is a better mecha. Blah blah blah. A sea star mecha. Okay. So the arms can bend in all sorts of directions. I like that. Central housing. Yes. Fights with either side facing, so the front and the back are interchangeable. Okay. Yes. Okay. Freezing cryo beams. That's fine. Urchin mines. I like that, sticking with the ocean theme. Shock cables. Strong grappling. Uh, okay. Yeah. Um, so I actually think there's a little too much detail. Like last time I talked about writing interesting stories. You're trying to be too fair for some of these things. You're saying like, oh, but the arms aren't as strong as another kaiju's arms might be if they weren't made. Don't tell me that. Just say like, they're awesome. The arms are cool. And say, oh, and he's good about this. Don't say like, well, he's a little weak to this because of just give me the good bits. You've got a unique fighting style. You've got an interesting look. Actually, in this, the hidden elephant here, I think does a great job of really showing how the central piece mixes together with the urchin mines, and the little ends have little articulated bits. Um, I can really imagine some creepy fighting stuff, like uh, I don't remember the specific movie, but I'm imagining a movie where there's a zombie, some undead thing that like kind of gets knocked down and just stands up and just kind of turns its head around and just starts walking backwards because it doesn't care. Uh, and I imagine that you can have a lot of creepy, like this thing gets kind of knocked down and then just stands up, and the thing that was its head is now its foot because it doesn't care, because it's a big starfish and it's invertible. That's cool. Invertible's pretty tricky. It's a rough word to say. But yeah, I like this. Um, Amvis, Amvis, Amvis. A little hard to say. Maybe give me another consonant in there. Armvis would be more clear. Anyway, I like that. It's very interesting. Haven't seen it before. Mr. J comments, there seem to be a lot of monsters that have developed upper bodies, but snake-like tails. Yeah. It's interesting. Hume had a lot to say about how we imagine new things, and he said often our new things are just putting together things that we're already familiar with. Um, and so when we try to make something strong and powerful, we often give it shoulders and a chest because we feel like that's strong and powerful, just because of our cultural bias. So that's interesting. All right, uh, moving on. Trivitus, the demon box elder beast. Is a box. All right. Antenna whip, cool. Acid reflux, painful. Sulfuric acid pulse. Okay, all right. So I like this overview. It's very evocative. Uh, Trivitus is a nuclear monster born after Mr. Heartbeat's rampage in Minnesota, which ended in nuclear chaos. Mutated by both nuclear and demonic energy, the monster now breeds with other mutations of a similar type. Sounds all bad. That sounds very bad for all the people around there. Um, okay, you're doing a little bit of passive voice here. Um, Passive voice is a writing no-no. Um, it means that you're taking the interesting or critical part of a sentence and you're sort of putting it in the end, or de-emphasizing it. Um, if I were to say, and then suddenly into the room a lion appeared, right? So the word that's critical there is lion. So I would say a lion came into the room. People are like, what? A lion came into the room. The coming into the room is not as important as it's a lion, right? So when you say a month after St. Paul was annihilated by a nuclear strike meant to bring down a demonic entity, so there's a demonic entity? That seems important. There's a nuclear strike? Those are important. The fact that it's a month after, that's not the most important part, so don't lead with that. So you would say like St. Paul was attacked by a demonic entity, which was ultimately defeated through a nuclear strike. Boom. A month after that, blah 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 blah. Right? But start with the interesting stuff. Demonic entity, nuclear strike. I need that information right away. Don't put it in the second half of a long sentence. Colonies of box elder bugs were exposed to the early stages, blah, blah, blah. They grew to the size of horses. Um, yes, okay. Okay, and then you have 1 month later again. Don't do that. Don't don't change your time and then have nothing happen and change your time again. It's very confusing. Just makes you feel like nothing else is going to happen again now, so we'll just skip ahead. Um, okay. It feeds off organic matter and souls. Okay. Yes. We'll unleash powerful acid. Launch the thistles. Good. Incapable of grappling due to size and strength. Don't say that. Just take that line out. Don't tell me he can't grapple. Leave that as an interesting thing. I mean, unless you really feel like not grappling is the part that makes him fun. I don't think that's the part that makes him fun. Just take that out. Use his unnecessary antenna as weapons. Why does he have unnecessary antenna? Interesting. Seems unnecessary. Uh, okay. Weaknesses. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, oh, you kind of talk it down, but it is in the weaknesses section. Right. So I think the box elder bugs, that's something a lot of people are not familiar with. So introduce it as though you assume we don't know. So, okay, so you have this nuclear strike that destroys St. Paul. And then you say, box elder bugs are are like this. They live there, and there were a lot of them around, and they got mutated, and blah blah blah. And now we have this box elder beast. Um, yeah, uh, I think all of the points of your story are solid. I think you should eliminate some of the fluff in between and tell me the highlights in a way that makes me excited. Um, I shouldn't feel like I'm getting bored in the middle of your story, and then at the end I'm like, okay, well, it came together. Like, give me like three things, so I'm like, and then what? How does it happen? But you're already done, and now I have to go and investigate myself. That would make it a lot stronger. Generally, yeah, nuclear attack, mutated bugs. Excellent. Let's see. Uh, okay, back to Shoutbox. Can't remember if I ever looked at this one or not. Panther. Oh, I've talked about Panther. I definitely have talked about Panther. I think I talked about Panther at a Monster Comment Day. I think Matt and I both talked about Panther because um, we talked about comparison to the Transformer movie. Soundwave had the Panthers, or no, it had a single Panther. It was Buzzsaw and Laserbeak, but it had the Panther, and they did sort of like a amalgamation Gestalt monster Panther in one of the Transformer movies. Transformer movies, a little bit of a sore spot. Matt saw the most recent one recently. I haven't seen it, and he did not care for it. He kept sending out little Facebook updates. He's like, I had to go use the bathroom like 2 hours in. I'm thinking about just not returning. Like that might make my day better if I just don't have to go back in there. Um, yeah, uh, Panther's pretty neat. It is uh, hard to make it a cyborg, or it's hard to make it a kaiju, right? If it's about blood, because blood is a liquid, and liquids don't behave on the macro scale the way that they do for us. Like a kaiju can't drink the way that we drink. Because water doesn't behave. If I'm a giant monster, I can't take a mouthful of water. It won't behave like a mouthful of water does at our scale, right? The same way that like an ant can't pick up a mouthful of water because the water droplets will, turn into little bubbles, and you have to swallow the whole bubble. Like it's very different. There's similar effects when you are a giant monster. The water is just it's a different thing than it is for us. And so any sort of liquid, and especially blood, it's difficult. Uh, yes. Okay. Vampirosaur. All right. It's got a freaky mandible head. Um, big rack of some sort of fin spikes on its back, crazy looking tail, claws on the hands. Pretty straightforward. Proboscis ton. Oh, great. Spike launcher, electro discharge, tongue taser, acid injection. All right, hunger. Overview. The Draconis clan's fourth bioweapon model after Dracojagosaurus. That means nothing. It's fine. You don't have to mean everything with every statement. Okay. After their strange creation of Draco Jaguars, they became even more strange in their ideas. Who? Give me a subject. I need to know who. From the overview, I assume you mean the Draconis clan, but I don't even know what that is. But you don't even say the Draconis clan. You can't just start saying them. That's an indefinite article. It only makes sense if there's a definite article I can refer to. Okay. Scientists decided to take an Allosaurus and cross it with a vampire. So, okay. So that makes no sense to me in this world, because in this world, an Allosaurus is a real thing that existed a long time ago, and a vampire is a fake thing. So you're hypothesizing a world in which an Allosaurus is a real thing that perhaps lived a long time ago, but the vampires are also real things. If we're not living in this world, I need to know. You need to tell me something. Especially, I don't even know what this Draconis clan is. So, you can give me a little bit of setup. Tell me about the world before we get into this. They were successful in the design. However, the sight made their leaders and elders sick. The monster was spiny, blah, blah, blah. The face wasn't even a face, just 4 tusks. Yes, it's a blood drinker. It needs to be able to steal health. Yep. Okay. Being able to keep his opponents at a distance is his best defense. He's not prone to up-close melee combat. He'll be defeated if he stays too close. Okay. Alright. So, yeah. So it's scaly but has no face, which is, I mean, it's interesting. Yeah. Okay. I like the crazy tail stuff. I like all the weird features you have going on here. I need just a little focus, I think, is what I really want. I understand that some people want to cross an Allosaurus with a vampire. Sweet. Although I would need to know a little about the world so I can accept that. And then success, they did it. They didn't use it. Is it a good guy? Is it a bad guy? Does it think for itself? Is it a slave? Is it resentful? Is it a infiltrator from an alien? Give me a little more. I want to know a little more about what this monster is thinking. All the things the monster is doing is cool. The look of the monster is fine. If we were to collaborate on this with Matt, I can guarantee Matt would take some of the elements that you have and push them slightly different directions. But in general, vampire dinosaur, it's pretty strong, right? Yes. Oh, okay. Movement. It says moves like a classic Allosaurus, capable of levitation. I was like, is that part of the classic Allosaurus moveset? Is the classic levitation? But I think those are just meant to be separate, independent clauses in that sentence. So moves like an Allosaurus, but also can levitate, which is not like an Allosaurus. So you just lied to us with the first part of the sentence. Cool. All right. All right. Cool. We are nearly out of time already, right? Time just flies by, and I did get started a little late today. I apologize for that. But you get my delicious pink shirt, pink and purple tie combination, so that's real good. Any other stuff we want to talk about? Not original character, but any other questions we just want to ask while y'all got me here? Yeah. I guess that's still not very interesting. Yeah, I think we've got everything pretty covered. Vampirosaur, yes. Meat-eating, blood-sucking vampire dinosaur might be redundant. Redundantly cool. Nothing else? No other questions? Hello, people. I am here. I'm here to talk with you. So I have been chatting with the people who are doing the Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee uh, online stuff. It seems like a good group. Any good movies lately? Nope. Uh, Waiting. I mean, I saw Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was real good. I liked it. Saw it twice. Uh, Waiting for more good movies to come out. Uh, Seen some mediocre movies. Not very exciting. I'm excited for Dunkirk. That should be out soon. Uh, yeah. Oh, my favorite type of goldfish flavor. Gosh, I mean the cheddar, the classic cheddar with just having just the right amount of salt is pretty great. And the way that they're a little dry and you crunch them inside and they soak up the liquid in your mouth so they make your mouth dry. That's pretty fun. At Pipeworks, we used to have little goldfish bags as one of the snack options, but yeah, just the plain cheddar. I always thought those were pretty fun. Yes, switching back to the other shout box. Nothing there. No, thank you, Oren. I have plenty of lore that I'm working on. Oh, let's just talk about the things that are coming up. So, we had the RCS um, monster that was revealed last Monday. We have more monsters. All 16 of our selected monsters are going to be coming out during these first few Mondays, and maybe we'll have another surprise or two as well. Uh, yeah. So probably end of July is where we're going to do our next series. So people can start getting ready for that. We're going to need theme team people to start talking about what the new series will be and describing it. I also need I'm going to need art for a few new cards uh, for the set. I should define those and talk with the theme team so we can start looking for anyone who wants to submit art. Otherwise, I'll just use clip art or repeat art, which is fine. What if I made Hydraxcandra more like a worm-type creature? Well, then it would be more like a worm, probably, if you did a good job. If it were less like a worm, I would say you had done the opposite of what you said. Yes. Okay, this is great. I have other things I'm going to go do. Thank you for joining me again. Uh, I always want more feedback on these things. If people have other stuff they want me to talk about, or if we want to do more focused events like last time, or if we want to just do general throw kaiju at me and I talk about events, you should let me know what you think works best. So I will see you on Monday for our new character reveal. And yeah, so have a good time. How do I? Always a problem. Output.